Akira sits in his small apartment, watching his zombie show on TV. His eyes are wide and focused. As he watches the chaos on the screen, he thinks to himself that it would be fun to live such an exciting and wild life. Right now, his real life feels boring and empty. Then the story flashes back to 3 years ago. At that time, Akira is a fresh graduate. He's very happy because he finally gets his dream job. He joins a company as a worker in the production department. On his first day, while Akira walks through the company hallway, by mistake, he bumps into a kind woman from the accounting team. Her name is Sori. She gives him a friendly smile and shares some helpful advice for his new job. She also wishes him good luck. Her warm words make him feel better and more confident. Later that day after work, Akira joins his new co-workers at a company party in a local bar. People are drinking and talking about their college days and personal lives. Akira listens quietly. Then he sees Sori again at the bar. She looks calm and beautiful. Akira decides he wants to impress her. He thinks that if he works very hard, maybe she will notice him. But the mood starts to change. While Akira sits with his co-workers, they suddenly start to look strange. Their faces turn serious and cold. Their eyes are empty. They look like robots or zombies. Akira looks around and feels confused. Something about the company feels wrong. The people around him work without joy, and they look like they are just surviving. Even though Akira is very tired and has not slept well in days, he decides to keep working hard. He tells himself that he must do his best and show his worth. Soon, Akira learns about the company's so-called employee-friendly rules. They say workers can get paid vacations, take leave on their anniversary, or use mental health days. But Akira knows the truth. These are only lies. Nobody really gets time off. Everyone works day and night, and no one cares about mental health. Akira starts to become more and more tired. He feels like he is losing himself. A year passes. One day, the department chief Kosugi gives Akira a very big task. Kosugi tells him to complete the job in just 1 week because another employee, Takahashi, is out sick. Akira says nothing. He accepts the job. He works non-stop, day and night, without any rest. His face grows pale. His eyes look dull. While he is working, Sori visits him and brings some food. She smiles and tells him that she is the only reason he is still sane. Akira laughs a little and feels happy. But soon his heart breaks when he finds out the truth. Sori is the CEO's mistress. This shocks him. His image of her changes completely. He feels sad and confused. Without Sori to keep him motivated, Akira begins to question everything. He wonders why he is still working at this company. He thinks about quitting, but then he feels guilty. He thinks he should not leave his team behind. He also feels too busy to even think about leaving. As his 3rd year of the company starts, the stress becomes too much. Akira feels very low. He even starts to think about suicide. He watches videos that teach about work safety and employee care, hoping they might help. But nothing seems to make him feel better. One morning, he wakes up tired again. His body feels heavy. He sees a letter at his door. It reminds him that he forgot to pay the fee for his bike space. He slowly gets up and walks to speak to the building manager. But when he opens the door, he finds something terrifying. The manager has turned into a zombie. The zombie jumps at him. Akira screams and runs. Suddenly, the world around him is filled with zombies. People are running. Blood is everywhere. Akira feels scared, but also strangely excited. For the first time in 3 years, he does not have to go to work. He feels free. Akira finds a safe place to rest. As he sits and catches his breath, he starts to think. He wonders how he can enjoy his life now that he is free. He thinks about Sori. Even though she hurt him, he still wants to know if she is safe. He knows it is risky, but he decides to visit her. When he reaches her building, he finds something shocking. His boss, Kosugi, is now a zombie. Kosugi attacks him, but Akira fights back. He uses his old rugby skills to push Kosugi out of the window. Kosugi falls and disappears. Akira then sees Sori. She is a zombie too. His heart sinks. Still, he shouts out his love for her, even though she can no longer hear him. That night, Akira walks through the empty streets. The shops are quiet. The air is cool. He enters a store and buys a notebook and a black marker. He walks outside thinking deeply. He finally decides how he wants to live. He will not waste another day. He will do everything he wants before he dies. Akira opens the notebook and writes on the first page, "List of 100 things to do before I become a zombie." Akira wakes up suddenly from a scary dream. His eyes open wide and he sits up on his bed. Then the smile slowly spreads across his face. He remembers something important. He does not have to go to work anymore. The zombie apocalypse has changed everything. Now he feels free. He relaxes in his apartment. He opens a can of beer and takes a long sip, enjoying the taste. While drinking, he starts cleaning up his messy room. He feels happier than before. On the TV, a news reporter tries to explain the chaos outside, but in the middle of the report, a zombie attacks him. The reporter screams and the screen cuts off. Akira watches this but does not panic. He just shrugs and thinks to himself that he needs more beer. When his beer runs out, Akira has no choice. He must go outside to get more. On his way, he passes by a building and sees a couple standing on their balcony. They are not zombies yet. The couple looks scared. Akira tells them he is going to the store to get beer and promises to bring them supplies when he comes back. Zombies are everywhere, but he keeps moving carefully. At the convenience store, Akira finds what he is looking for, cold beer. As he picks up a pack, he notices a girl nearby drinking water. She looks calm and serious. Akira tries to talk to her and maybe flirt a little, but she quickly shuts him down. She tells him clearly that risking his life just for beer is foolish. She says she would never team up with someone who acts so carelessly. Akira just smiles and ignores her words. But suddenly, a group of zombies crashes into the store. Everything turns wild. Just as Akira is about to get caught, the girl grabs his arm and pulls him away from danger. At that moment, a big truck smashes into the store and crushes the zombies. Akira is safe, thanks to the girl's quick thinking. He looks at her and says thank you. But then he sees something that makes him sad. His bike has been destroyed by the truck. Now he has no way to carry his things easily. Later, Akira finds a motorcycle parked nearby. He takes it and drives to the home of the couple he promised to help. When he arrives, the place is a complete mess. Blood is everywhere, and the house looks broken. Akira guesses that the couple is either dead or has turned into zombies. He feels a little heartbroken and disappointed. He goes back to his own apartment. He sits down and takes out his notebook, the bucket list he started. He slowly checks off 33 items he has already done. After that, he gets into bed and rests for the night. In the next scene, the story focuses on the girl who saved Akira. She is doing exercises in her room and listens to emergency broadcasts. She tries to contact a radio station in Los Angeles but fails. She is very careful and serious. She writes down ideas and notes on how to avoid becoming a zombie. She wants to survive smartly. Using binoculars, she watches the streets outside. She studies the zombies and learns how they move. She keeps detailed notes. Later, she heads out to find supplies. On the way, she passes by a shop that sells Sakura mochi, her favorite snack. She stops for a moment, thinking about buying one. Just then, Akira enters the store singing a silly song about beer. From the girl's camera on her bike, she records the moment. She watches the car crash into the store. Later, at her home, she replays the video and sees Akira just before he entered the store. She smiles a little and wonders if she should have grabbed that Sakura mochi after all. Inside a club called Showtime, everything is wild and scary. Loud music plays, lights flash, and zombies are everywhere. The staff and the manager named Shu fight hard to stay alive. They push zombies away, trying not to get bitten. The whole place is full of chaos and fear. Meanwhile, Akira is at home doing something silly. He is trying to grow a beard. It is one of the things on his bucket list. He wants to know what he would look like with facial hair. But after looking in the mirror, he realizes the beard looks terrible. He laughs and decides that growing a beard is not for him. As he wipes off the messy beard, his phone starts to buzz. He is surprised to see a message. Wi-Fi is working again. Suddenly, hundreds of messages from the past 3 years pop up on his phone screen. Akira starts reading them one by one. Then he sees a message with a familiar name, Kencho. Kencho is Akira's best friend from college. Seeing his name makes Akira feel something deep inside. Maybe Kencho is still alive. This thought fills Akira with hope. Without waiting, he makes a decision. He will find Kencho. At the same time, Kencho is stuck inside a strange room at Club Showtime. He is in a dark and tight bondage room, trying to fight off a zombie. Akira manages to send Kencho a message. He says they should meet in Shinjuku. But Kencho quickly replies and says it is too dangerous. He tells Akira not to come. Still, Akira does not listen. He is determined to help his friend. While heading to Shinjuku, Akira begins to think about Kencho. He talks about his memories. Kencho was always popular during college. He was friendly, full of energy, and always part of every party. After college, Kencho became a real estate agent. He looked successful and gave Akira advice about leaving his terrible job. Sometimes Akira felt annoyed by Kencho, but deep down, he always respected him. Back at the club, things get worse. The manager from before is about to reach his final moments, and as the zombies slowly approach him, he waits for death. However, a car horn in the distance is enough to distract the zombies and make them leave him alone. It also attracts the zombies that are holding Kencho in that room, so Tendo is finally able to go meet him. He uses the moment to break free from the bondage room. He runs through the halls and finally comes face to face with Akira. Akira looks at Kencho and feels a mix of emotions. He is happy to see his friend alive, but he also feels guilty. He says sorry for not listening before. He admits he was jealous of Kencho's happy life. There is no time to talk more. Zombies rush at them again. They run up the stairs and make it to the rooftop, but there is no way out except one. Akira looks at the next building. It is close, but still a big jump. Without thinking, Akira runs and jumps. He lands safely and tells Kencho to do the same. Kencho stops. He starts talking. He says he was never really happy with his job. He was only pretending. His real dream is to be a stand-up comedian. Akira listens, smiles, and tells him to chase that dream. He says it is okay to be who he really is. Kencho smiles and runs toward the edge. He jumps with all of his strength, throwing off his clothes as he flies through the air. He lands safely next to Akira. Later that night, the two friends rest on the rooftop. Kencho looks at the stars and shares another dream. He wants to help other survivors in the zombie world. Akira is not sure about the idea, but he listens quietly. As they lie on the rooftop under the dark sky, the camera shows Akira's bucket list. Akira is fully focused on a zombie video game. The screen flashes with lights and sounds as Akira plays like a pro. Nearby, Kencho stands on the rooftop. He's cooking food using a small stove. The smell of grilled meat fills the air. Kencho says this much cooking ability is normal, and Tendo's lack of skill is probably why he hasn't had any luck in his love life. Kencho jokes to himself while flipping the food, clearly enjoying the peaceful moment. As Akira keeps playing, Kencho starts looking at Akira's bucket list. The list is full of things Akira wants to do before he dies. Like seriously, what are the chances of him meeting a flight attendant in the apocalypse, and even more so getting the chance to wine and dine them? It would take some cosmic alignment voodoo to get that to happen. But regardless, Tendo is still going to do whatever he wants to do. Kencho decides to add a few things to Akira's list instead. He says he wants to support Akira after all they've been through, especially after almost dying back at the club. Then, Akira gets excited and suggests they go on a trip to Ikebukuro. There's a special reason. He wants a giant 8K widescreen TV. While they talk, Kencho opens up about something serious. He talks about his real dream of becoming a stand-up comedian. He admits he never truly liked his old job. This makes Akira start thinking too. He wonders if working in video production was ever really his own dream or just something he got stuck in. But just as things seem calm, trouble hits. Out of nowhere, a zombie drives a big truck straight toward them. Tendo has a flashback to what happened back on his beer run, and he gets an idea to jump the tanker. It's a crazy idea, yes, but I don't see Kencho coming up with anything. They manage to jump it, but the tanker explodes in a fiery inferno, forcing them to go into an underground mall to escape the fire. But the mall has a lot of zombies in it, and escape isn't an option anymore, so they jump off the motorcycle and start running to a nearby store with the door slightly open. The zombies chase them, but they manage to make it through and slam the door down on the zombies' fingers. A flashlight turns on. Inside the mall, they find a group of survivors. These people are scared and hopeless. Unlike Akira and Kencho, they are not positive or smiling. They seem like they have given up. But Akira sees a new chance to check off another item from his list: talking to cute girls during the zombie apocalypse. The girls they meet are flight attendants named Rika, Maki, and Yukari. Kencho quickly becomes friendly with them. He flirts with Maki and makes her laugh. Akira watches and feels inspired. Tendo is at a loss for what to do, so he tries to be funny and snorts a whole bottle of alcohol. And that gets everyone in a partying mood. Later, Tendo is puking his guts out when Eureka comes to check on him, and he thinks he might still have a chance. Back with Kencho, he and Maki are getting close. Rika, on the other hand, looks unhappy and tired of everything. Suddenly, a man who was with them turns into a zombie and attacks Rika. Things become wild and dangerous. Rika is bitten and slowly turns into a zombie. Maki and Kencho are terrified. Rika starts attacking them. In the chaos, Maki gets hurt badly and does not survive. Kencho picks up Rika's suitcase and uses it to protect himself from the attack. While this happens, Yukari speaks to Akira. She opens up about her job and tells him that even though she has a boyfriend, she is not happy. She is struggling with her career and doesn't know what to do. This makes Akira think deeply. He starts to wonder if his old dream of working in production was never truly his own. Maybe it was something he forced himself to believe. Then the zombie man from earlier shows up and attacks Yukari. Akira jumps in to help her. He fights the zombie off, but it's too late. Yukari has already been bitten. She knows what will happen next. She tells Akira to leave her behind. She says she still loves her job, even if things are hard. Akira looks sad, but he listens and walks away. Later, he finds Kencho, who is happily carrying a huge 8K widescreen TV. They walk back to their rooftop hideout together. But Akira is deep in thought. He remembers what Yukari and Kencho said about dreams. He wants to remember what his childhood dream really was. As the scene ends, Akira picks up his game controller again and starts playing the zombie video game, just like before. Kencho sits quietly on the rooftop, scrolling through his phone. He's reading the latest updates about the zombie outbreak. The news mentions that the self-defense force has started locking down parts of Hokkaido. Some local villages are also blocking their tunnels to stop zombies from getting in. Kencho reads this out loud, and Akira, who is still completely focused on playing his zombie video game, listens with mild interest. When he hears that some areas are staying safe, he thinks of his own family in Gunma. A little hope lights up inside him. Maybe they are still alive and safe. Suddenly, Kensho grabs a hair dye kit and starts coloring his hair bright yellow. Akira watches him and smiles, feeling the lighthearted energy Kensho always brings even during the end of the world. He tells Kensho about his childhood dream. Ever since he was little, Akira wanted to be a superhero, someone who could fight zombies and protect people. Saying it out loud makes him laugh, but he means it. He pulls out his bucket list and adds this dream to the top. They decide to go to an aquarium. The quiet halls and glowing blue tanks make the place feel strange now. They walk through the staff-only areas in the back. Meanwhile, a bus full of people is getting stuck in the zombie traffic, and the driver tells them that they are going to have to wait out the horde. But at least they are in a sealed bus, and there is no way any zombies are going to be getting in. Come on, what the hell? Well, now thanks to this guy, all the bus passengers have to run for their lives, and now they are getting slaughtered. This one girl has managed to escape so far, and she's run towards the aquarium. As she spots it, she thinks she will be safe once she gets inside, but then horror movie logic kicks in, and she falls over. And unfortunately for her, Usain Bolt was in the zombie crowd, and he is making a mad dash straight for her. As she's about to become zombie food, Tendo runs out of the aquarium and tackles Bolt, launching him a good 10 meters away. This was his secret weapon. He got Shark's suit from the aquarium to protect him from the zombie bites, and if a shark can't get through this stuff, then there's no way a zombie is going to. And with that, he has achieved his superhero goal. He spots more people who need help and tells all of them to head into the aquarium for safety. And among the people, he notices his second crush there, but he has no time to think about that because Bolt is back for round 2. And while the suit may be able to prevent bites from getting through, it's still going to hurt like hell. And after he falls to the ground, he gets swarmed by the Olympic team, and Kensho just goes, "You are on your own, buddy." Tendo eventually manages to throw the zombies off the bridge and into the river, and luckily for him, they hadn't trained for the triathlon. He heads back into the aquarium, and Kensho greets him like he didn't just leave him out there. After that, Tendo goes up to her to talk, and while he just wanted to talk, she starts roasting my man's entire existence. Kensho tries to defend Tendo's honor, but the roasting was too thorough. After that, there is a loud crash sound heard throughout the entire aquarium. Tendo and Kensho decide to go check it out, but when they find the source of the sound, they find something horrifying. The zombies couldn't find any swimmers, so they called in a shark. The shark starts chasing them, and they run to warn all the other people. Tendo tries to stay behind and fight, but then he realizes that is a shark with legs. You don't mess with a shark with legs. They get cornered in a room with even more zombies, and they start heading for the emergency exit, but then this girl just grabs Tendo's crush, stops for a second, and then pushes her aside because she's scared. And now Tendo's crush is likely a gunner. Upon realizing that she isn't in there with them, Kensho tries to go help her, but the door has been warped too much for it to open. He looks around to ask Tendo what he should do, but Tendo already left to help. On the other end, Tendo's crush is faced with a huge shark, and she can only blame herself for not realizing that you never stay with large groups during zombie chase. She has accepted her death, but Tendo hasn't, so he jumps from an air vent and tackles the shark. She is shocked that he would risk his life to come save her even after the roasting she gave him. What reason does he have for coming back? But Tendo doesn't need a reason to help someone, he is just doing what he wants to do. She is amazed by Tendo's resilience and asks him if he's got a plan yet, but he hasn't thought of one. As they run, she comes up with a plan to beat the shark. Since sharks are sensitive to electric charges, if they were to shock it, it would become confused and unable to attack them. While distracting the shark, Tendo gets smacked through a wall and is down for the count, and Kensho is trying to figure out a way to save him before he becomes shark food. So he comes up with a foolproof plan. He's going to bait the shark with his ass. But once the shark takes the bait, he starts to regret his decision. But that distraction was enough to let Tendo get back up, and the girl has finally found some batteries, so she tosses them to him and he uses them to shock the shark silly. After escaping, they walk out together, and Kensho asks if she isn't going to follow the either group, but she says she's done with groups for now. She still doesn't understand why Tendo would risk his life for her, but Tendo says she's someone precious to him now, so he would save her regardless. This gets her flustered, and she finally agrees to give Tendo her contact information. Later, Tendo is in a store staring down the Rolex on the wall, which he could never hope to afford. But now that the world has ended, he can have as much ice on his wrists as he wants. Then Kensho shows him some even more expensive bling, and I believe it is safe to say that these two are dripped out of their minds right now. Suddenly, the power goes out, and they realize there's no running water either. The problems hit all at once. His thoughts drift to Gunma, his hometown. He starts wondering if his parents are still alive. Kensho notices the look on Akira's face and throws out a spontaneous idea. Maybe they should head to Gunma and find out if Akira's family made it through the outbreak. Akira listens, and for once, he doesn't laugh it off. The idea sticks. Not long after, they pack their things and hit the road. As they drive through quiet roads lined with abandoned cars and ruined buildings, Akira mentions how great it would be to have an RV. It would make traveling easier and more comfortable. Their next stop ends up being an RV exhibition site. There, in a surprising twist, they run into someone familiar, Shizuka Mikazuki. Akira is both shocked and happy to see her again. He immediately invites her to join them on their journey, but Shizuka turns him down politely. She explains she doesn't have a driver's license, so she can't help with the RV. Still, she agrees to help them choose a suitable RV. While Akira and Kencho go for something flashy and expensive, Shizuka looks for something practical. She wants something reliable that matches their needs and can survive the rough roads ahead. While they are busy checking options, their presence draws unwanted attention. A group of zombies begins closing in on the lot. With no time to think, they all jump into a nearby RV. Akira gets it started and they speed away, avoiding the incoming threat. As they drive, Shizuka starts talking about what she thinks caused the outbreak. She believes it might be a virus, something that spreads between people. Maybe, she says, a vaccine could stop it. Their conversation is cut short when the RV hits a spike strip left on the road. The situation turns more serious. Just ahead, a group of survivors appears, led by someone Akira recognizes immediately, Chief Kosugi. He was Akira's old team leader from his job before everything collapsed. Kosugi is surprised to see Akira alive. He welcomes the group and offers them supplies and shelter at his truck shop. There, they have access to food, tires, and some protection. Akira thanks him, but deep inside, he feels uneasy. Kosugi was never kind. Back when they worked together, Kosugi was the reason Akira was so unhappy. That pain still lingers. As expected, Kosugi's offer comes with a price. He says they can stay and get supplies, but only if they work for him for 2 days. The threat of zombies lurking outside leaves them with no choice. They agree, even though they don't trust him. Kosugi gives Akira a long list of jobs. Meanwhile, Shizuka takes care of Kencho's wounds. She worries that Kosugi might trap them there by finding ways to extend their stay. She knows his type, someone who always wants control. The next day, Akira begins his tasks. He works hard, surrounded by other workers who look tired and lifeless. It's clear they aren't treated well. Akira wants to lift their spirits, even just a little. So in secret, he hides away a few cans of beer he found. His plan is to share them later. Kosugi finds out and questions Akira, angry that he's wasting electricity on chilling drinks. But when his own crew decides to host a welcome party for Akira and his friends, Kosugi backs down, trying to look like a kind leader. Akira observes how Kosugi manipulates situations, even using captured zombies as tools to get more work done. During this time, Kencho and Shizuka talk in private. They try to understand why Akira is putting up with Kosugi again. Now Akira is once again following orders from the same man who once broke his spirit, as he continues working beside zombies. In a memory from the past, a young Shizuka finds a small stray puppy wandering alone on the street. But when she brings the puppy home, her father does not approve. He scolds her, saying it's foolish to care for something so weak during such uncertain times. He believes emotions get in the way of survival and success. That moment stays with Shizuka for years. Back in the present, Chief Kosugi keeps his word and throws a welcome party for Akira and the others. Music plays, people gather, and laughter echoes around the truck shop. Shizuka watches the party from a distance, her expression calm but unreadable. Meanwhile, Akira is pulled into serving the crowd. He debates to act like a waiter, walking around and handing out drinks. Kosugi, sitting at the center like a king, gestures for Shizuka to come over and pour him a beer. Shizuka does what he says. Kosugi smirks and makes inappropriate comments toward her, trying to show his power. She keeps quiet, standing there while he talks. Then Kosugi waves Akira over and asks for another beer. Akira grabs a bottle, but in his rush, he hands Kosugi one that's already empty. Kosugi becomes irritated and mocks Akira in front of everyone. Shizuka stands nearby, lost in her thoughts. Her mind drifts back to her childhood, remembering the strict and cold man her father used to be, a powerful financier who believed in control above all else. She once took care of a sick dog named Rue, hiding it in her room. She loved that dog and looked after it until it was strong again. Then one day, she told her father about her dream of becoming a doctor, inspired by how she had helped Rue heal. But instead of supporting her, her father said the idea wasn't practical. It wasn't profitable. He then had Rue taken away and put down. These memories show how Shizuka has always lived under someone else's rules. Her father demanded obedience. Every decision she made was based on fear of rejection or failure. Even if she hated it, she followed his path, believing it was the only way to survive. At the party, Kosugi tries to convince Akira to stay with him permanently. He says working under his leadership is better than risking life with unreliable friends. The offer sounds like safety, but it also sounds like control, just like Shizuka's father. Shizuka recalls how her father used to point at the poor and warn her not to end up like them. That's when she finally realized she wasn't living her own life. She was helping her father get what he wanted. Later that night, while resting inside the RV, Shizuka finds Akira's handwritten bucket list. She quietly reads through it, smiles a little, then adds her own entry. The next morning, she stands up to Kosugi and calmly says that after their 2 promised days at work, Kensho and Akira are leaving. Kosugi doesn't argue, but surprise follows. Akira says he wants to stay longer. He feels like he owes Kosugi something after all the help. Before they leave, Shizuka talks privately with Akira. She tells him about Kosugi's true intentions and how he reminded her of her father. She thanks Akira for helping her see things more clearly. Then she hands him back his bucket list and asks him what he really wants. Akira opens the list and sees what Shizuka wrote: confront Kosugi. Kosugi tries to take Akira's list and manipulate it, but Akira holds onto it tightly. He looks Kosugi in the eyes and says thank you for the help, but he's leaving. Kosugi warns him that life outside is dangerous and that he won't last. But Akira doesn't back down. He would rather face danger with true friends than live like a servant under Kosugi. Just then, a delivery truck arrives, packed with supplies. One of Kosugi's workers is bitten by a hidden zombie inside. Panic spreads as the infection breaks out. Akira reacts quickly, gathering the crew and forming a barrier to protect the others. In the chaos, Akira even saves Kosugi from being bitten. After the fight, the workers who had followed Kosugi decide they had enough. They walk away from him, leaving him behind. Kosugi loses control of his group. With nothing holding them back, Akira, Kensho, and Shizuka get into their RV and drive off. Their next destination is Gumma. Akira looks ahead, thinking about his parents and hoping they are still alive. The road is dangerous, but now he is finally living life on his own terms. While traveling toward Gumma, Akira, Shizuka, and Kensho take a break from their journey to enjoy one of the fun goals on their bucket list, number 27, paddleboard yoga on a calm river. The sun shines softly overhead and the water reflects the clear blue sky. The group balances carefully on their paddleboards while striking awkward poses, laughing at each other's attempts. It's a peaceful, lighthearted moment. After a relaxing session, they pack up their gear and get back into the RV, ready to continue their trip. Akira checks the map and says they should arrive in Gumma in about an hour. But just as he finishes speaking, something catches his eye. Up ahead on the road, a delivery truck has skidded off the path. One tire is flat, and the vehicle is surrounded by a swarm of zombies. Without a second thought, Akira jumps into action. He suits up in his signature shark costume and gets ready to charge in, planning to rescue the driver like a superhero. But before Akira can make his move, the truck's door bursts open with a loud bang. Everyone watches in shock as a figure in red samurai armor leaps out of the truck. The armored warrior cuts down the zombies with impressive skill. Every movement is precise and confident. In a matter of moments, the area is cleared of danger. The red samurai removes her helmet, revealing that she's actually a young woman. She smiles and introduces herself as Beatrix Ammerhauser, a German woman who loves Japanese history and traditions. She thanks the group for drawing the zombies' attention long enough for her to gain the upper hand. Beatrix explains her story. After finishing college, she traveled to Japan to fulfill her dream of exploring its culture. Unfortunately, the zombie outbreak started just as she landed at Narita Airport. Instead of returning home, she stayed in Japan, gathering samurai gear and learning how to survive using the skills of the warriors she admired. Her truck is filled with coolers of fish, and when Akira asks where she's going, she says she's headed to Takasaki to deliver them. Kensho and Shizuka assume she's trying to bring food to survivors, but Beatrix corrects them. She explains that she's been in contact with a sushi chef who is still alive. Her mission is simple: get the fish to the chef and enjoy the most authentic sushi possible. This surprises Kensho and Shizuka, who think she's being selfish. But Akira, remembering that sushi is number 7 on his bucket list, becomes excited and agrees to help Beatrix. Though hesitant, Kensho and Shizuka eventually agree to come along, especially since Beatrix hasn't heard from the chef in 3 days and might need backup. When the group arrives in Takasaki, the streets are packed with zombies. Shizuka quickly comes up with a plan to take control of the situation. Kensho lures the zombies toward a narrow alleyway, while Shizuka positions a truck to block their escape. The team throws bottles of alcohol on the trapped zombies to prepare for a fire attack. But when they try to light the fire, the matches fail, and the zombies start pushing through. Seeing danger approaching, Akira and Beatrix take charge. They defend the RV and fight off the zombies while Kensho and Shizuka create noise to distract them. Eventually, the Molotov cocktails catch fire and the alley fills with flames. The group manages to wipe out the horde and make their way to the sushi chef's hideout. To their relief, the chef is alive. Everyone sits together enjoying the delicious meal. Beatrix, overwhelmed with joy, begins to cry as she eats. She has finally achieved her goal. The chef thanks them and decides to leave with the group. Beatrix also chooses to join them permanently, wanting to continue living with people who share dreams like hers. Their next destination is a famous hot spring town. The idea excites everyone since it's been days without a proper bath, and number 16 on the bucket list is relax in a natural hot spring. She talks about how the mineral-rich water is believed to cure many illnesses. Then she jokes that the only thing hot springs can't cure is love sickness. This makes Akira smile, and he casually says it would be nice to share a hot spring with a girlfriend, someone special to enjoy life with, and who keeps him motivated to complete his goals. Shizuka quietly listens, and her expression changes. Memories surface of her high school days when her strict father stopped her from dating a boy she liked. With a cold tone, she says that dating is useless and doesn't give anything in return. Akira, slightly disappointed by her words, says nothing more. Later, the group visits the men's outdoor bath. Akira and Kensho rush in excitedly and enjoy the warm water. But when Beatrix checks the women's bath, she discovers that the hot water isn't working. Shizuka now has no place to bathe. Beatrix shrugs and says it's fine after all. Men and women used to bathe together in the past. Shizuka refuses, but Beatrix walks confidently toward the men's bath. Before she can join them, a new danger appears. Zombies suddenly rise from the water, chasing everyone up the mountain. The group runs for safety and hides on higher ground as night falls. With no fire and nowhere else to go, they wait silently for morning. In the middle of the night, Akira wakes up feeling thirsty. He walks off in search of water but stumbles upon something unexpected. Tucked in the forest, he finds a natural hot spring still full of warm water. Relieved, he steps in. But to his surprise, someone else is already there. It's Shizuka. Startled, Shizuka thinks Akira followed her. She quickly accuses him of spying, but Akira calmly says he just wanted a bath and didn't know she was there. After a moment, Shizuka relaxes and lets him stay. The two sit quietly in the hot water, steam rising around them. Breaking the silence, Shizuka speaks honestly. She apologizes for the way she spoke about love earlier. She explains that her father's strict rules taught her to block out her emotions and avoid forming close bonds. But when she saw Akira being so kind and open with others, it made her feel jealous. That's why she lashed out. Akira listens closely, touched by her words. He tells her she's being surprisingly honest. Shizuka reflects and says that if she ever falls in love, it would have to be with someone she could be honest with, someone who makes her feel safe enough to open her heart. As soon as she says it, she realizes how it sounds like a confession. Akira also picks up on it, and for a moment, things grow quiet and a little awkward between them. Suddenly, Kensho and Beatrix appear from the trees. They see Akira and Shizuka together and quickly jump to conclusions, thinking the two sneaked off for romantic reasons. Laughing, they dive into the spring too, saying they don't want to miss out on such a special moment. Akira and his friends finally reach the area near Gunma. Akira feels nervous. He has not seen his parents since he started working. His father is a farmer and never talked much. They walk until they reach a tunnel, but both ends are blocked. Inside the tunnel, there are thousands of zombies. Akira looks closely, but does not see anyone he knows from Gunma. Shizuka understands the situation quickly. She says the villagers must have pushed zombies from other cities into the tunnel and locked them in. Since they can't go through, she says they should climb over the tunnel. As they walk across the forest path, they see an old man running. A huge zombie boar chases him. Beatrix quickly jumps in and kills the boar with her weapon. The old man thanks her. His name is Masaru Kumano. He tells them he ran away from the city and started living in the forest to avoid zombies. He is building a large treehouse in the trees to stay safe. He remembers that building a treehouse is number 23 on his bucket list, so he tells everyone they should stop and help the old man. Kensho joins in right away. Together, they start working with Kumano. Kumano teaches them how to work with wood. He says they must listen to the wood as if it speaks. Akira thinks deeply and imagines what it would be like to hear the whole world like that. While working, Kumano tells Akira something sad. He always wanted to build a treehouse for his son, but he kept waiting. Then the outbreak happened and both his son and wife turned into zombies. He had to kill them with his own hands. Akira feels sorry and tries to comfort him. Later, Shizuka and Beatrix also help. Soon the group finishes a beautiful and strong treehouse. Shizuka thinks Akira may want to stay and live there, but Akira surprises her. He says he wants to go to the village and spend time with his parents instead. The group says goodbye to Kumano and leaves. They walk through the mountains until they reach the village. Everything looks empty. Akira runs to the main hall in fear. But inside, he sees people partying in their underwear. Everyone is alive and fine. He finally finds his parents, Teru and Akiko. Overwhelmed, Akira starts crying. He thanks them for raising him with love. His father responds by hitting him gently on the head and tells him to stop being emotional. Then he walks away to work in the field. Later, Akiko cooks a meal for everyone. She explained that their village was so far away from cities that the virus couldn't reach easily. Some people from the city tried to escape here, but some were already infected. Those infected ones are now trapped in the tunnel. Akira doesn't eat right away. He wants to make up for the love and care his parents gave him. It's number 31 on his list. He tries to help his mother clean, but she refuses, so he helps his father on the farm instead. But Teruo doesn't say much. As the sun sets, Akira sees that his father has a cut on his hand, but Teruo hides it. Later, they carried vegetables to the village square. There, Akira sees 4 young people from the city. One of them looks familiar. A flashback shows this man's past. He is someone who gave up on working. He failed to find a job after college and slowly stopped trying. Instead of blaming himself, he blamed society. When the zombie outbreak began, he felt free. Not just from work like Akira, but from the entire system. The guy began gathering cigarettes and other supplies. Soon he met 3 other people who felt the same. They made their own bucket list, but it was full of crimes, drugs, violence, even worse. They saw the zombie world as a time with no rules, like an endless summer break. Now, late at night, the guy and his group walk toward the tunnel full of zombies. Akira is feeling good with his new dreadlocks thanks to Sakura, the hairstylist, Nagisa Kaneshiro, a makeup artist, and Ayume. The crew talks with Akira and his mom, sharing their stories. Nagisa gets emotional when she tells them how she was working on a zombie movie set when the outbreak started. She breaks down in tears. Ayumi comforts her and talks about how the village is different from the city. Meanwhile, Shizuka is in the kitchen with Tom, an older woman cooking rice. They chat about their different ways of cooking rice when old man Heiko, the village elder, bursts in, confused, and hugs Shizuka, thinking she is his granddaughter. Tom kicks him out, but soon another man walks in with a cut on his hand. Shizuka helps him. It turns out that everyone in the village now thinks Shizuka is a doctor. Soon, even Heiko comes to her for help. Kensho is working with fertilizer outside when he spots a little girl sitting alone with her dog. A villager tells him the girl's name is Anju. She lost her parents in the outbreak and hasn't smiled for days. Kensho, being his usual cheerful self, decides to cheer her up. He cracks jokes and juggles small Daruma figures, and finally he gets her to giggle a little. They become friends. Beatrix is given a tour of the water mill by an old lady. The mill keeps the village's lights on, but the power is barely enough. The villagers have set up an electric fence to keep out zombified animals. Beatrix is warned never to touch the circuit breaker. Later that night, Kensho checks on Akira while he works in the field. They spot someone they know, a man named Kanta Higurashi. Higurashi was an old college friend who dropped out and became a NEET. Kensho waves at him, but Higurashi ignores them and walks away, clearly angry. He has always been jealous of Akira and Kensho for being popular in school. Now Higurashi is planning something. That evening, Akira and his father, Teruo, sit on the balcony. Akira offers his dad a drink. Teruo accepts and Akira notices how much older his father looks. Feeling guilty, Akira apologizes for how wrong he was about the city. He says he wants to stay in the village and help. Teruo shuts him down again, making Akira angry, but he holds back. Instead, he asks his dad about his dreams. To Akira's surprise, Teruo admits he always wanted to be an astronaut but didn't have the brains for it. They laugh together, and for the first time, Akira feels like he's connecting with his dad. However, things soon take a turn. Higurashi arrives with construction diggers, ready to remove the barricade that blocks the zombies in the tunnel. His crew starts messing with the power, turning the electric fence to its highest voltage and cutting off the circuit breaker. Zombies start flooding into the village. Higurashi throws dynamite while Etenbo, one of his men, drives a digger and shoots at people. Akira and Teruo watch from a distance. Teruo tells Akira to go back to his friends while he handles the women. Shizuka starts moving people into houses to keep them safe, and Beatrix gets on a horse to rescue Kensho and Anju from zombies. They all meet at the fence. They try to break it down, but Kensho learns the hard way that the fence is on maximum voltage. They are stuck trying to figure out what to do next when Higurashi's crew arrives. Akira confronts Higurashi, and both of them pull out their bucket lists. Higurashi says his next item is to turn Akira into a zombie. Kensho is furious, asking why Higurashi wants to do this since Akira never did anything to him. Higurashi explodes, saying Akira's carefree attitude and perfect life made him sick. He sees the collapse of society as a chance to do whatever he wants. Akira gets it, but he tells Higurashi that his idea of fun hurts everyone else. Akira writes down his 38th bucket list item, paying back his parents, and things start to get tense. Beatrix heads to the mill to shut down the power, with Kanbayashi following her. Shizuka heads to the suspension bridge to guide people away from the zombies. Akira and Kensho prepare to evacuate, but Anju goes missing. She chased after her dog and hasn't come back. Higurashi is ready to drag everyone out of their homes and turn them into zombies like a twisted game of hide and seek. The zombies keep attacking the village. Buildings break down, fires burn, and everything is full of danger. Higurashi watches all this from a safe spot. He looks calm and happy, as if he enjoys watching everything fall apart. Anju finds her dog inside a small animal shed. She is scared but happy to see her pet alive. Just then, Kencho arrives to rescue her. He grabs Anju and they both climb onto the roof to stay away from the zombies. But things get worse. Kurasagi, one of Higurashi's men, appears with a ladder. At the same time, Beatrix reaches the watermill. She wants to shut off the power, but Kanbayashi is waiting for her with a chainsaw. He swings the chainsaw and cuts Beatrix's sword in half, stopping her attack. Elsewhere in the village, Shizuka finds Tom and a few other old villagers hiding in a shed. They say they can't run because they are old and slow, but Shizuka refuses to give up. She creates a small trick to distract the zombies and runs away, leading them away from the shed. She escapes, but right after, she bumps into Itenbu. He blocks her path and says he wants to kiss her by force. Shizuka quickly runs away again. Back in the fields, Akira is fighting zombies using a large plow. While swinging and attacking, he reaches the shed where his parents and the Tokyo group, Nagisa, Ayumi, and Sakura, are hiding. He calls out to his parents and tells them he is sorry. He feels sad for not paying them back for raising him. But Teruo, his father, pulls Akira inside the shed. Teruo says that if Akira really wants to repay them, he must stay alive. He then pushes Akira out and locks the door. While the fighting continues, the members of Higurashi's gang begin to lose control. Each of them starts remembering the pain from their past lives. Kurasagi remembers how his marriage grew cold. He was selfish and lazy and his wife left him. He became addicted to pleasure and lost everything. Etenbo remembers working at an Italian restaurant. He didn't speak Italian and couldn't keep up. One day, he accidentally set the place on fire and got fired. Kanbayashi remembers being a strict office boss. He shouted at his team and never let anyone breathe. All of them now feel empty and angry. They scream and ask why life turned out this way. But Akira's team starts to fight back strongly. Kencho talks to Kurasagi. He says Kurasagi's marriage failed because he expected his wife to do everything. Kurasagi gets angry, and they both fall off the roof during the struggle. Kencho hides inside his cesspit, filled with waste to avoid zombies. Kurasagi runs away but touches the electric fence by mistake and dies from the shock. Shizuka stands up to Itenbo. She tells him that real luck is something people build together. When people share their lives and dreams, they create good luck. Etenbo doesn't believe her. He tries to hurt her. But the old villagers come out to help. Old man Heiko leads them. They fight Itenbo and knock him down. He survives but is badly hurt. Beatrix explains to Kanbayashi how in Germany, people believe in freedom and living life calmly. Forcing others is always wrong. Then she jumps onto the spinning water wheel, but the zombies start climbing onto the wheel. It breaks and Beatrix rolls away on top of the spinning wheel. The zombies catch Kanbayashi instead and he is devoured by the horde. Meanwhile, Teruo keeps fighting bravely. He kills many zombies, but he refuses to let Akira help because he wants to protect Akiko and the other women. Soon, only 3 zombies are left, but Teruo suddenly falls. He holds his chest in pain. It looks like something is seriously wrong. Then, Higurashi arrives again. Higurashi gives Akira a cruel choice. Either Akira comes out and gets eaten by the zombies, or Teruo will be the one they feed on. The next scene begins with Higurashi's past. When he is a young boy in elementary school, he has friends. He enjoys playing with them near the pool. But as he grows older, things change. He starts to feel shy and alone. Even though he wants to connect, his quiet nature pulls him away. In college, he tries to fit in by joining clubs and doing activities, but nothing feels right. Then he sees Akira, who is always in the center of attention with his rugby team. Everyone likes Akira, and he's full of life. Higurashi feels jealous and thinks Akira should be alone too, just like him. Back in the present, Teruo still refuses to open the door. Akira pleads with his father, saying he hasn't paid him back for all the years he raised him. Akiko supports Akira, explaining all the health issues he has, but Teruo stays firm. He says the best way to repay him is by living life fully and checking off every item on his bucket list. Time passes, and at last, Akira opens the door. Zombies rush inside and look like they're going to attack everyone. But when Akira steps out, he looks like a zombie too. Higurashi smiles, thinking he's won, but then Akira surprises everyone. He suddenly moves fast, grabs Higurashi, and pulls him off the digger. It turns out Akira isn't a real zombie. Nagisa used makeup and items from the shed to make him look like one. By doing this, Akira also completes bucket list item number 22, try cosplay. The zombies follow Akira, thinking he is one of them. The three women handle the zombies bravely, while Akira walks up and traps Higurashi. Teru was pulled to safety by the group. Higurashi is now on his knees. Akira walks up and asks why Higurashi looks so unhappy if he says he enjoys all this chaos. Higurashi tries to lie, but his memories come rushing back. He remembers the pool from his childhood, the joy he once felt. Suddenly, a zombie bites his ankle. He kicks it off, but it's too late. He knows he's infected. As the zombies get closer, Akira asks him what he truly wants. At last, Higurashi admits he only wanted friends. Akira tells him he is foolish. He tried to be his friend, but Higurashi always ran away because of his own problems. Showing real empathy, like Teruo wanted, Akira hugs Higurashi. He promises to take him to a pool someday. Higurashi cries. Then he runs straight into the zombie group, leading them away from the village. Later, he stands near a river and imagines himself back at the pool. He sees Akira in the water, smiling. Higurashi finally feels at peace. He jumps into the water and disappears. Akira, Kensho, Shizuka, and the others gather at the fence with the last villagers. But many zombies are chasing them. Just in time, Beatrix arrives on the spinning water wheel. She crashes it into the fence, creating an opening. Everyone escapes into the forest, but the bridge to safety is broken. They are about to be trapped. Suddenly, Commando appears. He sees the zombie mess and brings a new bridge. He throws one side over. Akira and Kensho hold it steady as the villagers cross. Then they jump, hit the cliff wall, but climb up safely because Commando's end holds strong. As they climb, Kensho says Higurashi was silly to chase friendship that way. Akira says he understands. He could have ended up like Higurashi if he stayed in that harsh job. At the top, Teruo waits. He smiles proudly, and Akira checks off her pay parents on his list. The villagers trap the last zombies in a tunnel and seal it. Commando says he will stay and help rebuild the village. Shizuka is surprised. Tum says Shizuka's care gave them new hope. Anju thanks Kensho for his jokes and the courage they gave her. Kensho checks off become a stand-up comic. Later, Akira sits beside Teruo, who is asleep. Akiko says Teruo was always worried about him. Akira asks what's wrong with his dad. Akiko says it's just hemorrhoids, nothing serious. But Teruo refuses surgery. Feeling fresh and ready, Akira decides to leave the village. He wants to follow Teruo's dream and find a cure for the zombie virus. Everyone is unsure, but Teruo gives his blessing. Akira adds get dad surgery to the bucket list and tells everyone to write their goals. Shizuka wants to become a doctor. Kensho wants to bring laughter. Beatrix wants to bring nature back to Japan. The list now has 86 items. The next day, they prepare to leave. The whole village comes to say goodbye. Shizuka tells Hiko she's not a Kimi. Kensho promises Anju he'll return with more laughs. Akira says goodbye to his parents and promises to come back with a cure. As they walk away, Akira admits he has no idea how to find a cure. So they decide to just go north. In a short Where Are They Now scene, other survivors are shown. Meanwhile, Akira's group keeps smiling as they travel. Soon, they head toward Hokkaido.